residing at 6509 Old Hanover Road, Hanover, PA 17331. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ivan to manage this quick hearing.
All right, good evening, everyone. Now, being the duly advertised time and place, I'd like to open the public hearing concerning an application to include land within the agricultural security area pursuant to Pennsylvania's agricultural security law. The purpose, briefly, for tonight's hearing is to receive information and public comment regarding the received application that Tim referenced, and to create a record for consideration for the Board of Supervisors before taking action on the application. If you look later down the agenda, they can do so later on in the meeting after we close the hearing. Just for purposes of the record, the township received a proposed addition to the township's agricultural security area, as Tim said, from W.C. Myers Farms LP. The proposal concerns an 84-acre farm property located at 6509 Old Hanover Road. The property shown in the submitted materials is shown in the submitted materials as farmland used for crops and general farming. The Township Agricultural Security Area Advisory Committee has reviewed the application and submitted a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors for approval. Just to note, the Township Planning Commission was provided an opportunity to review the application but submitted no recommendation. Likewise, the York County Planning Commission was provided an opportunity to review the application but submitted no recommendation. The absence of the recommendations, however, is just noted for the record and is not impactful for the ability for the board to approve the application. All right, with that brief background, I would open the floor for the board to receive public comment. If anybody has any comments on the proposed application, just of note, this is strictly with respect to this proposed agricultural security area. There will be still the public comment period for the remainder of the agenda after we close the hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to propose public comment? All right, seeing none, I will go ahead and close the public comment period. The board has the proposals received previously from the applicant and also the ASO committee, so those are still made part of the record for its to form the basis of its decision later on during the meeting. So with that, I will now close the public hearing.
Okay, thank you, Ivan. That was very good. All right, well, now we'll open up the July Supervisors meeting. Starting with public comment, I received 2 requests for comment, one from Scott Ravenstein. So you're up first, Scott, go ahead.
Great, Scott Ravenstein, Tillman Drive. I just want to give a little bit of an update on the fire company. Last month we received the first of the fire tax money. We did set up an account through the state for investment. Right now they're at between 3 and 4%. We met with M&T Bank last week, and they're telling us for a money market they can get us close to 10%. So we're gonna meet with them in the next 2 weeks and see what they have to offer. We told them we want something that's no risk. You know, we want to make sure that we're getting money every month, we're not losing anything. So they're gonna set up a meeting with us, we're gonna meet with them. So we didn't invest any money yet until we meet with them in the next 2 weeks. So 10% sounds a lot better than 3 to 4%. So starting this month, we'll be making payments out of that with that money. Make sure the township has copies of all that for next month. So we'll see if you get it. And I want to thank everybody that sent in solicitations. Really appreciate it. Today is the day where we're having a drawing. For anybody that's sent in $50 or more, you're entered in that drawing. We're going to do it after this meeting in the meeting room. And everybody's welcome to come out and see who the winners are. Maybe it'll be you if you donated. So, you know, feel free to come out and join us. So, all right, thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Scott. Any questions for Scott? Okay, thanks, Scott. Next up is Peg Moulton.
Peg Moulton, Laurel Woods Lane, Heidelberg Township representative for the York County Rail Trail Authority, Hanover Trolley Trail Operating Committee. So just really quick but very important update. Very exciting news that on Wednesday, the 17th of June, at a regularly scheduled York County Board of Commissioners public meeting in York, the commissioners presented a motion to officially transfer the completed sections of the Hanover Trolley Trail from the authority, from the York County Trolley Trail Authority, Rail Trail Authority to the county. So this is important because also under the memorandum of understanding, this makes it official that the county will assume responsibility for operations, maintenance, etc., of the completed sections of the trolley trail. So that's Hanover Borough, Penn Township, Heidelberg Township, which is important to us, all the way from Gitz Run Road to Jacobs Mill Road, and eventually it'll go out to Spring Grove. It also will transfer the completed sections in Spring Grove Borough and Jackson Township. So it's very exciting, happened a lot faster than we thought it would, which is excellent news. There were a lot of questions a couple of years ago when we first started talking about the development, and I think this might answer some of the concerns of some of our residents. So it's all good news. On the 21st of July, I'm attending our semi-monthly or bi-monthly meeting. By that time, we will have broken ground, I think, on the parking lot off of 116. So next month, I should have an update on how that's going. And also the installation of the boardwalk connector from the parking lot area over to the completed rail trail. And that's really a lot of good progress. So I thank you for listening to this. If there's any questions, I'll be around, or I can answer them now.
Great, thank you. That's the only request I received.
I have a comment.
Open it up if anyone has something. Yes, please.
Paul King, 6829 Cannery Road. Last month, I was cut short on my presentation. 3 minutes didn't allow me to further explain that I was gonna put a stage in the pavilion, and I was also gonna fix your leaning flagpole. But since you're so damn ignorant to not even put it on the agenda to vote one way or the other, up or down, on my gift to the township, you're a taker and I'm a giver. Okay? And you can't stand when somebody wants to give something to this township that doesn't involve you, or you can't manipulate the credit for it.
Any other comments?
I have a comment.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Lori Van Tassel, 6826 Cannery Court. The comment I have is about priorities. And lo and behold, we are getting ready to celebrate 250th anniversary of the founding of our nation. And not one sparkler, not one hot dog, nothing will be taking place in our park. The one that was so desperately fought over for control. So why? Why nothing? Do you have an answer? Does anybody have an answer?
Do anything.
Pardon me?
No one volunteered to do anything.
And if they did, it wouldn't be approved.
I'm sorry, what about the nonprofit that you've like essentially handed control of the park over? What about them? They are a group of volunteers. Didn't they think about the 4th of July? No. So it's about priorities. You can tell what is a priority to you. What is sitting on Colonial Valley Road is your priority. And your community on the 4th, a very special 4th of July, will be doing nothing, going to other townships.
Mary Appleman, 6331 Strawacres Road. I certainly didn't come here prepared to make any statements, but once again, the only thing I want to say is I want to commend the board for the way you have conducted your meetings. We're going to always have public comment. That is negative, and we are here to celebrate the 250th. And if someone cared that much, why didn't they put something together? So you know, I'm sorry, I'm a problem solver. If you're gonna complain, then have a plan or provide a solution or a group of individuals that would have offered something prior to the week of the event. But thank you all for the way that you are handling yourself and this township and this meeting each and every month. I appreciate that, because it's a pleasure to be here. And I am ready to celebrate. I'm having my own 4th of July party. So, if anyone's available, you want to attend, I would be more than happy to have you come over and celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Any other comments? We'll move forward. Okay. I'd like to make the motion to approve the June supervisor, board supervisor meeting minutes. So here a second.
I'd like to make an amendment to the minutes.
Sure.
Section 4, public comment, last line should be pegged. I'll approve the motion, or I'll second your motion as amended.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the fire report, and I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the Wells County EMS major report. New York. Go ahead.
Communications. At the very top.
Oh. Sorry. And it's a most important comment as well. I'm sorry about that. Thanks to the volunteers who upgraded the flower bed at the office. Very nice job, very nice work. We really appreciate it. Looks great. Thank you. And again, I apologize for missing out. Okay, moving on then to the Northern York County Police Report.
For the month of June in Heidelberg Township, we had a total of 98 calls. 9 of those were crashes. Department news, we just hired 3 new officers. They graduated from the Harrisburg Area Community College Police Academy June 26th. So Officer Tyler Bazowski, Officer Louis Mendoza, and Officer Joe Rodriguez. This week they're in training and they start patrol, the patrol division tomorrow. So as of to date, we're 1 officer down, and we're getting ready to celebrate the retirement of Jack Asper. We're having a lunch for him tomorrow.
Any questions? Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the zoning activity report and code enforcement officer report. I'd like to make the motion approving the planning commission recommendation of the final land development plan for the Trone Family Trust, 685 Dix Run Road, parcel 300000ED0039. Along with, we're gonna recommend the approvals of the, this can be under the same motion. Recommend approval of the waiver of section, for section 507 regarding sidewalks, and a waiver, recommending not approving the following waivers. There are 2. Section 504.c requiring widening the carway of Gitz Run Road, and section 510B.8 requiring vertical curbing. But did recommend changing the requirement to slant curbing to match the existing curbs on Gitz Run Road. So, with that, do you have any comment, Chris?
No, I think we'll take care of that couple of loose ends here, all the administrative stuff, and get you some sign plans.
All right. Thank you. Want to make a second? Motion to approve June's treasurer report. Do we hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the June bills paid report. I'd like to make the motion to approve real estate tax refund to Hope Baptist Church in the amount of $16.76 and $6.29.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And acknowledge receipt of the right to know requests for June. We received 1, we completed 12 in June. Year to date, that's 38. Solicitor costs through May, $1,591. Total, or township employee cost through June, $4,634.95. I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the road maintenance report, and I'd like to acknowledge receipt of the May engineering report. Quarter 2 bills are due July 8th for the water company, if you're a customer. Quarter 2 bills are due July 8th, 2026. And with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Ida.
Right, so a couple of matters here. The first is consideration of a motion authorizing our firm to advertise ordinance 2026-08, which amends previous ordinance number 5. As you can imagine, being ordinance number 5, it's quite an old ordinance that originally established the Township Planning Commission. This amendment or amending ordinance that will be advertised essentially aligns that establishing ordinance for the Planning Commission to more closely mirror the Municipality Planning Commission, which is the authority in Pennsylvania governing Planning Commission establishment. That would be the number of members, their terms in office, alternate members, as well as compensation, just aligning it with those requirements, or allowances, I should say. So the motion would be to authorize advertisement of that ordinance.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Will that draft be posted
It
for
is now.
the public?
It's on the website.
Okay.
Under ordinances and resolutions, it's at the very bottom where we have them all addressed.
Okay.
Once advertised, it will be published in the newspaper as well.
All right, I'd like to make a motion authorizing the solicitor to advertise ordinance 2026-08.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next one?
Next one is consideration of motion to also advertise the advertisements of ordinance 2026-09, which amends ordinance 88-2. This would establish a maximum speed limit on Jacobs Mill Road, per PennDOT permit 8-4-3045. Essentially, this is the result of a traffic study that was conducted and allows the speed limit to be changed to 30 miles per hour.
That's currently at 35.
Correct.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next one?
The next one is a resolution, not an ordinance. This is to approve updated resolution 2023-09, and it's with respect to the annual appropriation to Portage Fire Company. This takes what was previously established to be a resolution and more broadly or specifically defines the conditions of payment to allow a easier to follow schedule of providing financial records to the township to review before then passing along the allocated funds for the fire company. That allocation still happens in the budget approval process every year. This is just more so defining the financial records to come to the township for review.
Okay. I'd like to make that motion.
May I ask a question first?
Yes.
The mill rate on here, I guess it's the fourth paragraph down, is that correct? 0.25 mils?
That is the background from the previous resolution. The appropriation itself actually happens in the budgeting process, but we can certainly make that as amended to either strike it or correct it to.
Well, I didn't know if that had to reflect the actual, the mill rate that is going directly to quarters.
So this resolution itself actually does not appropriate any money,
Okay.
so
Okay. Thank you.
certainly, yeah, and it's a resolution, it can be amended at any time.
Okay. Thank you. Another question. Yes.
So wouldn't that then become resolution 26 something? When it's amended, doesn't it become a new resolution in sequence of the current year?
Yes, each subsequent resolution changes numbers so that you can easily reference them over the course of the year.
So this will be 2610,
06.
06?
2606.
Because we had 2609.
That's an ordinance, this is a resolution.
Oh, that's an ordinance, you're right, thank you. All right,
Okay.
I'm fine, thank you.
You say that a little louder?
Thank you, I'm
No,
fine.
no, you're right.
You were absolutely right in what you
Thank you.
pointed out, Judy, thank you.
Okay. I think
And I guess you had to hear that since it
I like it,
doesn't happen much.
correct.
All right. I'd like to make the motion approving updated resolution 2023-09 for the fire annual appropriation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The last one on your list.
Last one is consideration of a motion approving a memorandum of understanding for maintenance, operation, safety, and management of Hanover Trail. So as Peg mentioned in the public comment period, there was some action by the commissioners accepting the trail for operation and maintenance. This is an agreement with the township as a party, as the other municipalities are also parties to this agreement that outlines that relationship as well for the operation and maintenance of the trail. There is also in this motion a related amendment that removes ongoing township maintenance responsibilities. In the form agreement that is passed from each municipality, some municipalities have agreed for the maintenance of parking lots associated with the trail. This addendum will remove that responsibility for the township, so it doesn't have to have that added staffing burden. So the motion is both to approve the MOU as well as the amendment, and I spoke with the assistant solicitor for the county, who is fine with both the language of the addendum and plans to have that for action at the commissioners' next meeting as well.
I'd like to make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, that takes us down. Travis, do you have anything for it?
No, I did just wanna say one thing, I thought Peg might have touched on it in her report. Let me find the report. This was back, just a couple days ago. Peg, did you get anything about the, Governor's Award for Environmental
Yes.
Excellence?
Yes, I did speak to that last month, but I will tell you about that, it's very exciting. That was at a different presentation up in Harrisburg. The York County Rail Trail Authority received an award of excellence from the DCNR, the
Yeah.
prestigious Governor's Award for Environmental Excellence for the Oil Creek Restoration. And that was made earlier in June. I did not attend it. There were very few people that could attend that presentation, but it did happen.
Yep.
You know, I'd like to try to get a copy of the award, of the
I
proclamation.
don't have that, I just have like
Yeah.
it actually came through Kinsley, just says, about C.S. Davidson's work and
Yeah.
land studies, and that the award was from Pennsylvania DEP for the Old Creek Restoration
Yes.
Project.
It's a real prestigious award. They were very excited to get it, and it highlights the Oil Creek restoration, the work that was done, the cooperation of all the entities, Heidelberg Township, but also DCNR, all the contributors financially to it. The total project was a little over 4.5 million, just for that 2-mile section from Gibbs Run Road to Jacobs Mill. And by the way, the length of it from Gibbs Run Road around the dog leg to Jacobs Mill is 1.9 miles in each direction. So it's just under 4 miles round trip in that section. So I know there's a little bit of confusion as to but when you walk it and do the whole thing in round trip, it takes you more than an hour. Yeah, and that's not without looking,
Right.
at the birds and all that.
Very good, I just wanted to bring that up real quick, thank you, thanks, Peg.
Thank you. All right, moving on to old business. I'd like to make the motion approving the application for inclusion into the agricultural agricultural security area for W.C. Myers Family Farms, parcel 30-000-EE-084, residing at 6509 Old Hanover Road, Hanover, PA, 17331. Do I hear a second on that?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And new business on
All
that.
right, new business is a violation of the Sunshine Act. And under section 711, 1C, objection. Any person has the right to raise an objection at any time to a perceived violation of this chapter at any meeting of a board or council of a political subdivision or an authority created by a political subdivision. So I'm objecting to it as a violation of the Sunshine Act. It doesn't tell us who the parties are.
Paul, if you give us a minute, Hyden will explain.
It's not on the agenda. What you say now doesn't matter because people would know the agenda and they don't know what to comment on.
It'll go in the minutes. Excuse me.
Paul, please let Hyden explain.
And not everyone will see the minutes.
Please, Hyden.
All right, your objection is noted. I don't agree with you.
Did you get the email that I sent
I
to
did.
Schultes?
I did, and I don't agree with you.
Well, there's a place for two different arguments, right?
Not here, I don't believe. So,
No, not,
So the requirement of the Sunshine Act is to provide sufficient detail on the agenda so that people can be apprised of the business conducted at the public meeting. Right here, we have a described remedial action agreement for enforcement of zoning ordinances. Currently, the township, as requested by complainants, is enforcing provisions of its zoning ordinance. And those records are public records that you can search on any docket sheet. Through the attendance of a magisterial district justice hearing that we had scheduled for enforcement of the township zoning ordinances, a property owner who had hired legal counsel requested to speak with myself and the zoning officer prior to the hearing commencing and detailed their plans to bring their property into compliance as to not go through the hearing itself. So in the course of doing that, it's typical to enter these remedial action agreements so that the township has the ability to enforce that good faith compliance, and that's what this matter is. Because the matter is still ongoing, and just out of courtesy to the defendant, who's trying to make good on bringing their property into compliance, we have a limited detailing here of the agreement, but there is no departure from the township zoning ordinance requirements, and it essentially establishes a payment plan with the office that is workable for the resident. And it isn't signed as well either. There could be amendments to it. That's why it's subject to approval of township staff and solicitor as we give it back and forth to
well, who's the
president.
township solicitor?
It's myself.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna draw the agreement that you're gonna agree to.
The agreement is drafted, so now we enter the process, the good faith process of giving it to the other party's legal counsel, and then we engage in discussions of the form the agreement ultimately takes.
So what's wrong with the enforcement mechanisms that are in the ordinance?
They're still ongoing, so you have a process to resolve those mechanisms without having to get the judicial system involved.
Is this a non-conforming use property?
I'm not gonna speak to the detail of the enforcement action.
So therefore, it's a violation of the Sunshine Act.
Incorrect. So what we're doing is providing the approval for the form of the remedial action agreement.
Well, could I ask a question to follow on to that, because I brought this up last month, and I understand you weren't here, so bear with it, but there were complaints that were filed in 2022 that the township did nothing on, nothing. And I brought those up at last month's meeting as to, I know, now Tim tried to snow people here to say that it was ongoing. It wasn't, because I had constant contact with the admin staff at the time.
I would just pause you here. These are entirely separate concepts that we're discussing. There is a limited discretion for the township resources in order to follow complaints that it receives, and it chooses to do so at the discretion of its codes and zoning officer. This particular violation that we followed up on was elected for enforcement for the officer in their discretion, and now we're pursuing that to the hearing phase, which we're now entering into potentially a remedial action agreement to ensure compliance. So those come on a case-by-case basis and are gauged in the discretion of the officer in consideration of the township's resources, because these things are not free to enforce. and we go from there. So that's a separate consideration from the matter being considered this evening.
Well, it's separate, except for the fact that she points out that it's the same excuse we're constantly given, that it's ongoing.
I would encourage people who have complaints to submit them to the township office continuously to express your concern for any violation. And anyone interested in any particular document is always free to file a right to know request as evidenced by the amount of fees that the township has incurred to date.
I have a question.
Yes,
So this was based on a complaint?
I'm not getting into the merits of the enforcement action. The enforcement process is either by the zoning officer noticing something out of compliance or fielding complaints and then investigating afterward. That is the basic process for prosecuting a violation.
Okay, so the zoning officer can go out and find things, but when people make complaints, those just sit?
That's incorrect.
Okay, so tell me how that's different. I
I'm
don't,
gonna, again, redirect back to the agenda
Right.
because this is a department.
I just don't understand why this isn't on the agenda. Why this?
Well, that was been explained, we're gonna move on.
One other question. So the reason why I asked is the non-conforming use property is because in the ordinance, it states that a file is to be created by the zoning officer on non-conforming use properties, and that dialogue and notes are to be taken periodically about getting it enforced, to eliminate the non-conforming uses. So if it's and that file is open to the public, it states that right in the ordinance. So if it is a non-conforming use property, we are entitled to that file and to know whether or not that file is what's being remediated here.
There are concepts of the law that you're correct that non-conforming uses over time are restricted on any kind of enlargement or changing character of the use or transfer or abandonment, so that it brings that property into compliance over time. That is correct. The zoning officer, I'm sure, tracks that information, and I'm not speaking to the substance of this because it's an ongoing matter. So your legal characterization of potential violations, I'm not even rebutting. That is potentially correct. I'm not speaking to this out of respect for the ongoing action and to not jeopardize the township's enforcement position.
Unreal.
So now we're moving on, and I'd like to make a motion of approval of remedial action agreement for zoning ordinance enforcement in form acceptable to the township staff
This
and
is
solicitor.
when we
Do I
were
hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Upcoming meetings, planning commission, July 8, 2026, 6 p.m., township building. Water committee, July 15, 2026, 6 p.m., township building. Zoning hearing board, July 29, 2026, 7 p.m., township building. Board of supervisors, regular scheduled meeting, August 5th, 2026, 6 p.m., board fire hall. And with that, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.